Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, three crazy rescue dogs who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to be an ASL interpreter, and is trying to train for Ironman in her spare time. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome to the crazy. Grab a drink, sit on back. Who knows how long we'll be here? I never do. But if you'll go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, it sends me a message. It boosts my self-esteem and my serotonin. And we all could use that. Okay. If you're returning, welcome back. You already know the crazy you're in for. So again, grab a drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. What have I... Oh, okay. So our sign of the week, because I try to teach you guys just a little bit here and there. Not that you're not going to get fluent by watching me. And that's okay. But what I hope is that maybe, depending on things, you'll learn something. And so that when you're out in your city, you see somebody who's deaf, you're not going to worry about it. You're going to say hi, how are you? Say, I'm fine. Or whatever. Or at least you know that a person is signing and that they're deaf and that you're going to have to communicate in a different way than what you're used to. Or that we're not throwing gang signs. Because that's been an issue. Apparently, I throw gang signs sometimes. So, we are down towards the end of the semester. I think we only have like 3 more weeks. And then I get a couple weeks off. And I have to tell you all, I'm ecstatic to have that break. And that is the general feeling there's a core group. We're now far enough into the program that we're in what's called a cohort. So these are going to be kind of like the same, you're going to have the same core cohort people until we graduate in all of your classes, because it's not like at this point, if they're offering a class, it's at one time. It's not at multiple times. Now that is good, but it's bad too. Because like our one class in the fall, my friend Matt, who usually we sit next to each other and we study together, he can't take it because of work, and because it starts at like 3:30 or 4. And the only reason I'm able to take it is honestly because I work for myself and I have that luxury. And I understand that that is a luxury that I have that few people who work full time are going to have. And that sucks because it's not like this program is super big and that class is only offered once a year. So hopefully next fall he'll be in a situation where he can just add that in on top of everything else. But it just sucks because it's not like everything is offered every semester, and it's just tough. Okay, so anyways, our word of the day is try. You're gonna take your tea hands, and all you try, and you just kind of scoop them forward. Try. So I try to learn. And for learn, it's kind of like it's a piece of paper or a book, and you're taking the information. So you're gonna taking the information and you put it in your head. So you learn. So I try to learn more. My one class, I have no idea. He has not graded anything and given it to us, so none of us have a clue where we're at. My other class, it looks like I will pass it. Will I be with an A? No. Am I okay with that? Yes. But in talking to my counterparts, a lot of us are just at that burned out. So many of us are walking around on the edge of tears because we're just exhausted, um, and feeling like we are not learning fast enough to get anything. And like we walk out of my Thursday night class and we have to compare notes about what the homework is. And it's always kind of a crapshoot. And that's really frustrating. So yeah. But we're making progress and I'm learning more and more. I have my schedule set for the fall. While I am full-time, my one class is asynchronistic, although I know it's a heavy duty course. It's nutrition. I had dropped it before because the technology was it was too much. I couldn't figure it out. She is willing to sit down with me even the week before classes. I've already emailed her and been in touch and kind of set me up for success. And I really appreciate that. I have that. I have yoga. We all know how I feel about yoga. My coach is thrilled. My coach thinks it's absolutely hysterical that I have yoga. This is how I'm going to get my kid back. And then I have the 3 ASL classes. I already have my book for the one. I went ahead and got it on Amazon because it was like $20 to $30 cheaper than through the bookstore. That's a lot. So yeah, so it's a little crazy. I went to the neurosurgeon today and I talked to him. We had to readjust the shunt. I told you guys that I was overdraining, and now the thought is that so we moved me back to where I was before we like changed it. The thought is I'm still overdraining at that, but my shunt doesn't adjust anymore. Like that's the highest setting. Which is weird because the higher your number, the less you drain. So I'm at like the max setting. They can't make me drain any less. So they're thinking that potentially I'm still going to be over draining, which is why I was still having all of the headaches and the issues from before. So there's 3 options. We gotta really tell you, there are very few people in my life that I emphatically trust without hesitation. And those are also people that I rely on in unique ways. And my neurosurgeon is one of those. And I have built up an amazing rapport with him where if I saw him out, I'd go have coffee with him. And we wouldn't hesitate about it. Go have dinner with him. Like, it's not a problem. I know his spouse when I'm down at the bankruptcy court, down in the federal building, and I have an issue. I don't have a problem going to his spouse. Like, I know them. And so, because of the damage in my back already and the issues that I'm having, the last thing we really want to do is subject me to a lumbar puncture. The other part of the lumbar puncture is every time you have one done, you run the risk of basically furthering or causing what is called a Chiari malformation. So essentially your brain starts to sink into your spinal column. Now, I've already had that issue because of all of the pressure that had built up in my head for so long before I finally got diagnosed. And then we had the lumbar punctures. And so I've had what's called a Chiari malformation surgery, decompression surgery, where they essentially go in. I'm missing the base of a chunk out of the base of my skull. And I do apologize if this is getting too graphic, but they basically lift my brain up out of my spinal column, and then they put like a repair, like a new Dura mesh in there to hold my brain up, sort of like a bladder suspension for your brain. So the fear is we don't want, like, the lumbar pressure, the lumbar punctures can start to sort of force your brain down further, and we don't want to cause that to need me to go in and have another decompression surgery. We don't want that. So we're trying to avoid that. Now, you can tap the shunt directly. That doesn't generally give you a good idea of your pressure, but you can do that. The problem with that is one who wants a big needle stuck in the back of their head, but the rate of infection is significant. Because I've already had so many issues when we first did the shunting, that is not something any of us want to risk. To the point where, like, at one point I had such an infection at my shunt that had happened. I was on a PICC line for weeks. So we don't want, so those aren't good options. So the other option is, and he hasn't ruled this out, and it's terrifying, is that essentially we would admit me into the neuro ICU, and we would place what's called an ICP bolt. And it's essentially what it sounds like. They would literally drill a hole in my head, another one, because I already have two in the back, plus the chunk that's missing out of the back of my skull from the decompression surgery, and basically place a bolt in my head that would continuously monitor my ICP pressure for a couple days. We would then use that information to decide what we would do next. Well, that's terrifying. And not the ideal either. The other option is to just, there's apparently a new valve system, or a new shunt system. I am assuming it's from Medtronic because that's who makes my shunt, and that's like, that's what we're like. I assume it's still a Medtronic shunt. I hope. I don't know. But it has more settings. They have apparently all of the advice that when I was a Medtronic Global Hero and got to talk to the designers of my shunt, they heard me and they did it. Y'all, that's mind blowing. Like, we've been waiting. Like, Boyd and I have been talking about needing a shunt with. It's also got smaller increments, but that the range to adjust is bigger. We could just go in and change out the system. That's a brain surgery. And of course, then I get terrified that what happens if it doesn't settle right? What happens if there's an infection? I mean, that's how we started down the rabbit hole last time, that I ended up having 8 in 104 days. I don't want that. I don't want to be bald again. So that's not an ideal situation. So Boyd and I have a great deal of respect for each other because we both know that, one, I went through a period of time where I tracked everything. And when I tell you I tracked everything, I tracked everything. Every symptom. I tracked the weather, the barometric pressure, not just the temperature, the humidity rate, the barometric pressure from day to day. I tracked what I was doing exercise-wise, what I ate, every single ingredient. Like, I didn't eat out. I didn't eat processed foods because I didn't know all the ingredients, and then I couldn't link them. Like, okay, what what may be my triggers. Like I know what will rate, like what foods will automatically spike my ICP. I know, which thank God I know, because I use that information a lot this last week. And I have to tell you, as much as I love Diet Coke, I am so over because caffeine will raise your ICP. I'm like, and I love, excuse me, I love my coffee. So I was downing both of those, trying to at least be able to function. And for those of you who aren't aware, when your ICP is low, so your intracranial cerebral spinal fluid, when that pressure is low, um, dizziness, headaches, think spinal headache, like for those women who have had a epidural and had the complication where you kind of leaked, your spinal fluid leaked afterwards, so you had a spinal headache. That's essentially what I had for over a week. That was just so intense that like I was vomiting at one point. I had to drive, I had to drive from class, and I had to run to my office and another errand, and I was starting to pass out because I was just so dizzy and I couldn't do it. And I came home and I did pass out like in my bed, and thank God I was able to safely get to my bed. My kids are very aware of how to handle things, who to call, like the protocols. And it's scary that my 21-year-olds are that aware of protocols like that. My kids also aren't afraid to EpiPen me. They know how to use it. And when the EpiPen changed, we use a trainer pen and they practice. But so that, like, we don't want. So Boyd and I kicked around ideas, and like I said, we haven't rolled out doing the ICP Bold. We haven't, and then potentially changing the system. What we do know is, generally people with intracranial hypertension, or used to be called pseudotumor cerebri, are told to lose weight. Now, we as women, especially women who are even slightly overweight, are always told that. No matter, you broke your arm, oh, you should try to lose weight. And it really bothers me that is a go-to. Now, Boyd has never talked to me like that. And the couple doctors that have, it has been put down very, very quickly. That's not an issue for me. I've still managed to keep off about 100, just over 100 pounds, for 7-8 years now. I was lower, and you know that, like, I've talked about that, like, recently I've noticed a weight gain, and Boyd has said, like, look, that's one of the side effects, because you're not able to function, and you're probably eating comfort foods. And like, for sure this last week I was eating everything that I could to raise my ICP. So tons of soda, chocolate will spike mine, raw onions will spike it, lunch meats because the nitrates, pickles, olives, so all of those high salt briny foods, like all of that, like tropical fruit, so again high in sugar, and I'm diabetic, and so I had to watch my sugars. And the more sugar you have as a diabetic, especially since I'm insulin resistance from the PCOS, all of that, like, I know my weight is up. And we talked about it, and I was like, in thinking, and we were talking things through, and I love that we'll talk things through with each other about my care. Like, and he's very open about it. He's like, look, I don't have an answer, but we're gonna find it together. And he what we know is that, unlike most people with my condition, who, as they lose weight, oftentimes their ICP will decrease, well, mine actually spikes. And I need my shunt to drain more the less I weigh, which may be part of it's one of those, if like you're in this weird wheel where I gained weight, so my ICP, for some reason, my shunt doesn't need to work as hard, and I'm over draining, which means I feel like shit, so I can't work out, and I'm eating crap to try and raise it, so I'm gaining weight, and I'm like in this vicious loop. And somehow we've got to kind of break me out of that loop so I can drop the weight, so that my shunt isn't over draining. So we are going to take that approach because that's the least invasive. And honestly, like, nobody should be drinking. Like this last week, I literally probably drank 2 gallons of Diet Coke a day. Like, it was bad. It's bad. It's bad. I know it's bad. First of all, it costs a fucking fortune. Second of all, it's horrible for your body. So, winner chicken dinner. I don't like raw onion. So it was like trying to, like, that wasn't when I got it in a salad. That was the most I could do. I don't like the taste of it. But yeah, like all of this, like, it hits up fast. I walked around. Bolt House Farms makes a mango, like, juice drink, and I had a 52-gallon jug, like 52-ounce jug, and I was walking around the store drinking it. I probably looked like a crackhead, but it was all I could do to be able to walk the store to grocery shop and get stuff done. So hopefully, it will take a couple days for the. I'm thinking, honestly, knowing me and knowing my body like I do, I will feel immensely better by tomorrow, even, especially by tomorrow afternoon and stuff. So we are going to take, hopefully, if you guys want to join me, that would be great. Expect on, especially on Instagram, in order to be more accountable, I will likely be posting more pictures of my workouts, things I'm eating. I gotta go back to tracking my calories. I will probably be doing a lot of protein, green beans, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, lots and lots of water, lots of eggs. Those things, my body does better on more proteins than anything. I race better on protein, which is really weird too, because usually your stomach doesn't handle protein when you're racing. At least not long courses. That's why, like me, I'm out there like, let me eat a chicken leg while we're racing this 100-mile bike ride. What the fuck? I don't know. I don't know, but it works. So, yeah. So it's been an adventure this last week. So like I said, I was going to do this earlier. I was not feeling up to it, and I am starting to feel a little bit better. I got my paper for tomorrow already turned in, did all the edits. I've got one more assignment that's due tomorrow night for my interpreting music class. Actually, it's interpreting art and music or theater. It's really it's been fun. And then I got a bunch of work to do that I've got to get done in the next couple days. I apologize for the hiccups. Finishing up my Diet Coke from this morning. So yeah, if anybody wants to join me on cheering each other on that note, I did start my tracking my miles on my MapQuest. As you guys know, I am run bike swimming my way to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And right now, kind of near Detroit. I made it out of my subdivision and onto I-75, and I'm 15 miles down the road. I think that will put me near about Troy, Royal Oak area of Michigan. Not even to Detroit. The next, so it used to be when you MapQuested it out, it gave you a whole lot better directions, like, oh, you've hit this city and stuff. Now I've got 101.04 miles before I've got to turn. That doesn't tell me where I am. So I don't know if last time, because it's been years, if maybe I did like the walking directions versus the driving directions. So if somebody has a clue, that would be great, because that's not that exciting. I don't know how to move me down the line until I hit like 104 miles, and I can go, oh, look, I'm there. So I may have to play with that in this week. But again, make it a game. And that is how my ADHD brain likes life. I apparently enjoy games with myself. Or I like in your happy planner where you're scratching things off and checking the boxes. That brings me joy. I don't pretend to know. So like I said, I don't know if I went over this last week. I put a bunch of household projects on a on essentially a whip-go board. And we've each got colors. And Bean, bless her heart, she's amazing. A kid, I don't know. She's more like me than I care to admit, and it kind of scares me because like the other day she worked her butt off to the point where she was sore, but then she was still up trying to figure out one more thing. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, go to bed, child. So she's already got 2 X's. And see, if you get in fast and you get better picks and you don't have like the humongous jobs. So Beam's starting her bingo, like to call bingo, and she's already earned 2. Yeah. And then I put other craft projects, not my cross stitch ones, on here. You can see how well that's going. But I didn't feel good, and I have to pull out my sewing machine. Once my sewing machine is up, I'll be able to like out a bunch of things, hopefully. Because like I have a bazillion project bags cut out, but again they're all to the stage where I have to pull out my sewing machine, and I actually have to pull out one of the backup sewing machines, so there's a learning curve there. And when I do that, then I can sew a couple shirts for myself for this fall, because they have a Jeep with like a Christmas tree. They have a red Jeep with a Christmas tree, so it's like for Christmas. And then I bought some really cool custom fabrics for Bean of axolotls, and penguins. Pangolins. They're like armadillos on steroids. They're kind of cute though. And the fabric is gorgeous. So I bought her enough where I can make her a shirt, like a t-shirt and leggings. So once I have the sewing machine out, it's just like I can get a bunch of stuff done. But I have to have the table cleared off in order to pull out the sewing machine. See where we're at. That's my life. Okay, so I am still working on a couple designs. So I don't have any new releases, sadly. They are coming. They are up here. They are small up here. That does not mean that once I chart them, they are going to stay small, because we all know that that's not how my brain works. Okay. So, as far as I do take that back. I did do one pattern, but I did actually 2 patterns, but they were photo conversions for people. So it's not like it was a big deal. And then as far as haul is concerned, I only have 2 things that are really, I have 3 things, but I won one of the Fortnite Fabrics little auctions. It's for linen, because we all know that I have become able to stitch on the linens. So they had just a cute little ornament pack, and it wasn't very much. I think I paid $9 for it, and I didn't think that was bad, because they're nice big chunks. But look at that. It's got like, does that help? Oh, there we go. It does have the little splash of pink down in the corner. But it's like that grungy gray. Like that's like spot on up here. And it's very faint in the corner. It's not like a, oh my God, it's pink. It's not. Now this, however, is, oh my God, it's pink. It's gorgeous though. I'm thinking maybe something Valentine's-y on there. Because I don't know. And then this is the third, and it is this gorgeous greenish. That's not coming out. It looks more gray, but it's really green. It's green. It's green. I swear it's green. It's not gray. It's this beautiful green, almost, I don't know. I was gonna say almost to a forest green, but it's really not. It's in that same sort of family though, like that. So I don't know what it's gonna be, but I got it. And then the other lovely thing that I have now, it came. I have the mega cone of DMC White or Blanc. Blanc. Um, because I have visions of it being different colors. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I did purchase is from Rita Renee's on Facebook. If you guys have not checked her out on Facebook, you really do need to. Her prices are unbelievable. I was able to get 60-inch wide, 18 count off-white Ada at $8 a yard. Which makes it glorious to dye because you're not like, if I mess it up, I'm not really out anything. Like at that price, like, and it's that nice. It's a cotton. It's cotton. It's not like when you buy the Joann's. It's got like that plasticky. It's not like that. It's nice. And in fact, if you've had any of my Ada that I've dyed, it's from her. And she does. She's super nice. She is dealing with her one worker has got some family issues, so be patient if she doesn't respond right away. It's worth the wait. Like, plan ahead. It's worth it. Okay. Okay. So this week we have one more day left on this for Whip Go from July. We don't judge on my channel unless you're stupid, and then we judge. But this is not like, if you fall behind on your Whip Go, that's fine. We'll cheer you on. We'll make you feel better. So, Whip Go last month for me was, we elected to spend 10 more days working on the Marine Corps emblem. I have one more day left to work on it. But y'all, look at that. We're making some solid progress on there. I am loving it. Yeah. What I may do, I know I only have the one more day, which is fine. I may wait to do my day until like Saturday when I can stitch on it a majority of the day so that I can close that circle part and maybe even get some of the darker golds filled in, like that the circle, that loop that goes on this side, and the leaves done, because it's supposed to look, see how it's like that. If I could get all of those filled in, and then there's one or two stitch all the way around in that color as well. If I could get that done in that day, that would be really cool. When I stitch on that, you guys, I'm spoiled. I'm the first one to admit I'm spoiled in a lot of ways. So I needed to place an order because the 2 cents that I had, Jane, who won, already had. And so placed an order to get her a scent that she would like, that she wanted. And so I have that. That came in today. So I'll get that in the mail this week, Jane. She's getting strawberry pina colada. Yes, Jane, I'm sniffing your wax, which sounds really weird, but now you understand. You'll understand. So in my effort, like some of my projects, or in my projects, each one will have a special, like I'm going to try and put its own wax with it. And then obviously when I finish that project, that wax will go to the next project. It's not like I'm just going to like throw them out. Because hello, they're fantastic. So this one so I'll always tell you, like if I have a wax scent with my project, I'll let you know what it is because I'm that kind of person. So when I stitch the Marine Corps emblem now, I used to only have the one wax that I was using, and that was Peach Brandy, which is fantastic. But this one is Sun Your Buns. Oh, so good. It's kind of tropical. It's another one of those tropical. Can you tell which ones I like? Mm-hmm. Just, you know, kind of keeps up with my whole what I like to stitch. Let's be honest. Okay, you're not gonna come to my station expecting to see a whole lot of snow scenes. It's not going to happen. I hate to disappoint you all. If that's what you thought you were here for, but let's be honest with each other. Okay, so my other WIPGO goal from July is by Climbing Goats Design, and that is the marvelous, wondrous solar system Sal from last year. I can't wait to have this damn planet done. This is Mars. I still owe this, guys. I still owe this 6 days. 6 days. I am so fed up with this. Apparently, I miscounted when I first started, which may have been one of the other reasons I didn't finish, like, keep working on the cell. So this has been, like, my nemesis. It's gorgeous, but it's my nemesis right now. So I'm sort of wondering if, well, yes, I realize I have to finish Mars. But maybe, just to maybe bring some joy to this project, I don't pull out the next planet, which is Neptune. And maybe stitch on Neptune, which is blues. And let me see if I have, I do know that I have the big picture. Here we go. So this is Mars. This is my nemesis right now. But maybe I jump down. That shouldn't be right. That would make sense. I don't know. It's a blue planet. The next one is a blue planet. You'd think I was stupid that I don't know which planet is what. But yo, when I learned them, they were all in a line coming from the sun. I know that order. These are not like that. So I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not stupid. Like, let me see if I can kind of. I think I'm right. I think that this is Neptune. So maybe, do I just go ahead and jump down? And maybe find some joy? And get some in the next 6 days? I don't know. Let me know what you think. But now I bet you're wondering, what floss thread wax did I throw in that bag, right? Because I got a nice box from my honey. And that would be Mima's Sugar Cookies. Now, Sugar Cookie is one of my favorite candle scents. And it is just... Oh. So, when I get this done, and this wax has to go somewhere, I have not finished... Okay, I have not started. I collected all the things, except for the wooden board that they were selling. I didn't get one, and now I went to the site because I finally thought about it. It's not on the Etsy store, the little cutting board. So I don't know what to do about that. Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna have to. But then I was thinking, what would be cute is if I got one of those like little miniature cookie sheets. I could mount it on that. So then I'm back to being, when I forget that again, you all, when I forget and I finally decide to stitch it and finish it and FFO, please remind me that that's where my brain was at, that I'm just going to mount it on a little tiny cookie sheet because I don't have the board. Now I did order the hands-on design, the Halloween costume party, and I did get the board, the tombstone, and the Rick Rex. So I have so sugar cookie thread wax will go into that bag with the hands-on cookie design because I think that makes sense, and like I do try to make them make sense. In my brain now, son, your buns with the military, with the Marines, I don't know, it just smells good. So now my peach brandy wax, what I do is I am working on the pattern that I did for Hillbilly Candle Company. That's truck. It is a 1953 Chevy. I know you're impressed that I know that. I had to ask because Jane asked me a question and I didn't know. I couldn't remember. Now the one that is being restored is the same make and model and year, but its name is Rosie. So I always call this Rosie, but that Rosie is not red. Rosie is a beautiful coppery patina sort of. I don't know how to describe it, but we made some progress. We're at 0.5%. I know. It does not have a bag yet. It needs a bag. Clearly it needs a bag. It has a buttload of flosses. Like I think 204 different color flosses. It does not have a bag. When I stitch with it though, right now, I stitch with Peach Brandy because that is that person's favorite scent right now. Now he did send me, he surprised me in my box, and he sent me wax melts of movie butter popcorn. I need this in all of the things. It's okay. I'm one of those weirdos that likes the Jelly Belly popcorn, butter popcorn jelly beans. They're like one of my favorites. The wax melts smell exactly like those. Like that. Yeah. So right now my whole house smells like movie theater buttered popcorn because I have them in all of my wax melters. And it makes me happy, but it makes my daughter hungry apparently. But now I need it in thread wax. Now I don't know what project I'm going to put it in. I don't know. I'm sort of thinking Van Gogh Jeep needs to have movie theater butter popcorn. I don't know why, but it does. So the other thing is Jessie Marie called the Whipco pulls for August. For me, I am committed to doing 10 days on each project. And what got called for me is last year's Cloud Factory sale called There Is No Planet B. This is part 1 and 2. Y'all, don't laugh. Don't laugh at me. That's our starting point. I know. I know. 10 days work. So we get to put on it. So maybe I am putting in the grass. I think I started at the tree. I did load it up into Pattern Keeper now. Oh, great. I didn't cross it off on the planet, on my papers. I don't know if that's the tree, if that's the grass. I don't know. So we'll be figuring that out. But I did load it up into Pattern Keeper. I have all of the parts in the pattern keeper. The first animal, what I liked about this cell that I thought was really cool that they did, is every time they released the month, they told you what the animal and about the little animals. So the first animals are an okapi, okapi, which is a forest giraffe or a zebra giraffe, and a black-footed ferret. Um, so that'll be cool. But like I said, it's in Pattern Keeper now. That I think will make it go hopefully a little bit faster once I figure out if that was the tree or the grass. And in there for thread wax, I have hazelnut coffee. It just like I can't tell you, like, they just smell good and it brings a little bit of joy. It's like a little aromatherapy boost to my senses. I don't know. It just makes me happy. This is another, okay, so then my other square is an out of print pattern, so I apologize. I was gifted it and I am forever grateful to that person. It is loaded in my pattern keeper. And just for the love of God, Amy, and because I know I don't do these often enough, and I know that you love this, in my brain it was smaller. I don't know. It's freaking huge. Here's my fabric. Clearly it's a Haid. It's loaded into Pattern Keeper. Set for 10 days. What is it, you may be asking yourself? Well, I'm so glad you asked, and I'm surprised you can't tell by my fast start. It is set for 10 days. Now, in the past couple months, 10 days did enable me to stitch all the way across and all the way down on a couple of my full coverage, including Jeep Van Gogh, my unconventional cross stitch one, and I forget. But this is Magic Study by that person at Haid. Maria, maybe? They have come out with another version of it that is, if I remember correctly when I looked at it, was a bit more purple. Mine, I think, is more blue, if I recall. Clearly, I've looked at this pattern a whole lot in the last year. Why, like, y'all. Okay, hang on. Let me pull it up. I can do this. Um, let's see. Dun 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 dun. So right now, according to Pattern Keeper, we're at 0%, but that's not quite right because I do have stitches. I just not have words are hard. I have not put them in yet. So let's see. View mockup. There we go. So this is, can you see that? There we go. Magic Study is started. So I think that the one now is maybe it's a little bit more blue. I thought I had put, well, okay, so I will be loading There Is No Planet B onto Pattern Keeper, but this does not have a bin or a bag. Um, and let's see. I will probably be using my strawberry pina colada, which is fitting for Bean because Bean is she's my strawberry kid. That was one of her favorites. It still is one of her favorite fruits. So that'll work. Although she doesn't like pineapple, really. Though she liked the pink pineapple. I did not get to work on my linen project this last week, unfortunately. Life, you know. So yeah. Other than that really is kind of where we're at. I bought. Let's see, what else did I get? I did start my Christmas shopping for the twins. Which is good. And so yeah, it's all good. I can't think of anything else this next couple of days. Like I said, I think I'm going to be prepping for finals. I'll be stitching here and there and doing some pattern designing, trying to chug along on a couple of things. I only have the one more day, like I said, on Marie Court emblem. I have a couple days on the space cell, but I'm debating whether or not to kind of, I don't know. I have to pull the threads. I don't know why they're no longer pulled for Magic Study or even for No Planet B, and set that up. What I really need to do, hopefully you guys, by next week I will have made some significant progress on my map in traveling. Oh, by the way, my son had his interviews at the music store to be the French horn teacher, right? And he finally heard back, and they are hiring him. So yeah, so that's very exciting. My son is officially being paid to be a musician. How cool is that? He's actually making pretty good money. I was surprised. So that's exciting. I'm excited for him. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll see a lot of sewing next week is my point. Hopefully we'll see a lot. I'll have a lot of sewing to show you. And maybe some crochet. Who knows though, because this is me, and yeah. So with that said, I have no idea what that is out there, but clearly my dogs don't like it. So I'm gonna let you go. I have to go work on a project with my partner that is due on Wednesday, and I would like to get my homework that's due tomorrow night done. It's fairly fast from my understanding, and head to bed because I have to be up at the ass crack of dawn to be in class for that English class. And for those of you who were following along last week, we did not discuss his dentist, but for a few minutes, we spent a lot of time discussing whether or not the K in night should or shouldn't be pronounced, and whether or not it is you ask a question or you ask a question. Yeah. I can't wait for that class to be done. At the same time, I'm looking at my son going, okay, as crazy as his teacher is, he's pretty generous in his grading. You should take it. I don't know. So, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe one of us will pick to paint the wall. Who knows? It's anybody's guess. That's half the fun of coming here. We don't know what Kelly's gonna do next week. We don't know. So, I am over 100 books read for the year. My goal is 150. So if all keeps going as moving forward, we will hit it before December, and that is pretty darn exciting. With the boy child's new job, and Bean got offered a dog sitting job over the holiday break. I don't know if my trip to the beach for Christmas is going to happen. We'll have to see. So then I'm wondering if maybe we don't just take Thanksgiving weekend, like leave Wednesday morning, come back Sunday night, and go down south to a beach. None of us really like turkey, so it's not like it really matters. I don't know. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we just postpone it to like our spring break, winter break. We'll see. So, with that said, I am gonna head off and do some homework and whatnot. I will talk to you guys later. If you need me, I am His Princess Kelly on Instagram. I am Kelly Regal Green or Grandma's Stitching Box on Facebook. You can always reach out to me. Shoot me an email at kelly@kgreenlaw.com, and we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.